All right, North Lacrosse. Welcome back to the Tactics Board. Coach Mahoney here with the second video on our series looking at our black offensive set. What we see on the board right here, right now, is our gold offensive set, open offense. And in order to transition to our black offensive set, we simply invert our crease or our X attackman up to the crease, drop our wing attackman below GLE down here, and shift our wing middies down a little bit lower as well. Pressurizes the offensive set, makes us a little bit more dangerous, gets us closer to that area that we call the house that we want to get in for those high percentage shots, and makes the defense start doing some different stuff. So when we switch to this offensive set, I did the first video, kind of went over it and talked about the basic rules. So let's talk about those rules again. We have two triangles in this offensive set. We have a Middie triangle right here, and we have an attack triangle. Now, we mentioned that the attack triangle behaves a little bit differently because we are taking one of our attackmen and making him basically a crease specialist. All right, so our crease attackman is going to work the house all over, staying clear of the actual crease, but moving all over the house, positioning himself based on where the ball is to do a couple different things. So remember, let's say we're bringing the ball down and we've got a chance to just start our offense off from a settled position. If this Middie decides he wants to, regardless of where this Middie decides to go, what we don't want to have happen is our crease attackman sitting up at the top of the box, okay? And here's why. All right, our crease attackman is going to have a crease defender on him, and he's going to be in a position to stay where he can guard his man, but also be in a position to be the hot slide out of the crease if that's required. So in order to manipulate and move the defense, which we always talk about as an offensive player with the ball, you want to make the defense move, because if you can make them move, whether that's play you or draw a slide, you've now just created opportunities for yourself and potentially an open man if you draw that slide. So in this instance, if the ball is top center, and we've got a Middie playing defense on this Middie, this Middie has some options. He can pass the ball, or he can decide he wants to dodge. If he's decided that, you know what, I'm just going to try to topside dodge, and I want to come downhill and do this. We don't want our crease attackman right up here at the top of the box, because he's drawing his defense in a position, puts him closer to the dodger, and makes it much easier for him to slide and cover that guy. So where does our crease attackman need to go? He needs to be in either the bottom right or the bottom left position, wherever he feels more comfortable and more dangerous. Okay, keeping in mind now that this defenseman, this crease defenseman, is going to have to make a decision. Do I continue to go stay with that crease attackman and play him very tight coverage? What happens if I do that? Well, if he does that and this Middie dodges and beats his man, there's no slide. The slide is now here and it's much further away. By the time he gets there, he's going to be in the house with a hands-free step-down shot on the goal. So we would expect that the crease defenseman is not going to stay welded to the crease attackman, but rather he's going to stay over here, okay? So now, if this top center Middie dodges down, beats his Middie, brings the ball down and is looking for a shot, we expect the slide to come from the crease. If the slide comes and this reload's coming back to the crease, this Middie has a decision to make. One choice is wise, the other choice is not as wise. The not as wise choice is to say, okay, well, I'm potentially in a double team here, but I'm going to fight through it and see if I can still get to a shot. That one is the not wise choice. We want to make the wise choice. And remember, when a slide comes, he left a man wide open. So middies, have your heads up. If that slide comes to you, I want you dumping down. And what's going to happen here is, we know there's another defender in this box, right? Because he's covering this dude. So this defender is responsible for this attackman. So he's going to be here. He's also playing kind of a second role where he should be providing some coverage in the middle. So this attackman's going to be moving around. He's going to try to get into a position where the Middie can easily dump to him and get a quick shot. The tasking of the crease attackman is that you must be able to handle the feed quickly and pull the trigger immediately. There is no time to catch, cradle, wind up, shoot. There is a catch shot. That's all you get. So Our crease attackmen, if you end up on the crease, you need to be handling feeds very quickly, turning and dumping the ball into the goal. That's why you're there. So you maneuver around, you get into a different position, you draw these different defenders around. So we also know there's going to be a pull who's responsible for this guy. So even though it seems like, okay, now we've got, potentially 3 defenders and 1 guy on the crease, the interesting thing here is now these guys can start moving around a little bit as well, making these guys decide what they're going to do. So if he floats up and gets a little bit closer, this pole is going to need to come over. Why? Because if he doesn't, you got to feed here with a quick shot. Okay. So if we end up, and again, this video is more about the middies, but middies, a lot of what you're dealing with here is trying to initiate a dodge that is going to move that defense. And you have to understand that while you're doing something with the ball, the guys who are off ball are also doing some different things, okay? So this crease attackman is moving all over the box, and these wing attackmen may be coming up a little bit to be in a position to make their pulls decide to either play them tighter, which opens up space for our crease attackmen, or they're going to decide to stay in, which leaves you hands-free and gives you potential angles and shots, okay? So keep in mind, dodgers, all right? Middies who like to dodge. The only time that you should be dodging to the goal, all right, is if the slide comes late, all right? So let's say that the crease attackman comes down here and their crease defender ends up, I'm going to stay on him. If that happens and you beat your middie, this is a dodge with a wind-up shot because the slide's not going to get there, not going to get there in time. So your hands free, you're past the man, step 1, step 2, and wind-up shot. It's got to go. You still don't have a ton of time, right? And we're working on this. The one-on-one Hopkins up and over is a useful drill because it shows you need to be pulling that trigger. As soon as your hands are free, you should be stepping into your shot. You don't want to continue to carry all the way into the house because now you're just in a lot of traffic. So we want to take that shot while you are free of traffic. So there is a timing element to this. But back to the idea of if you dodge and you beat your man, but their slide was in a smart place, you dodge, you get down, the slide comes, and the reload maybe either doubles or you end up with other defenders. Don't press this bad situation. Bounce out, okay? Just bounce it back up top, run up the space, and let's try it again. One of the things that falls into the category of lacrosse IQ or lax IQ is knowing when to press a situation. And if you have a double team, that is not the time to press. I want to see us making smarter decisions that when we recognize that we have drawn a double team, right? So whether it's this guy and this guy, when we've drawn that double team, this middie was his defender, but this middie is his defender. So he is now open. But let's say he's on here, we've got this middie over here, we're on the crease, and he's over here, and he's over here, and this middie is playing this guy. Okay, let's say that this middie wants to go dodge down this way. He's trying to cut in this way, and they're going to use an adjacent support slide. So he dodges, he beats his middie, and this guy now slides. Okay, he's reloading, but the slide came. This crease slide is also in a position to support. It's just, you're not going to have any luck trying to press in here for the shot. But who's wide open? This guy. He now has a potential 1-2 step shot right into the goal. He's got a decent angle, okay? So what we need to look at from the middie perspective in our black offensive set is what are the wing middies doing? Okay, when we started practicing this yesterday, the wing middies were starting way up here, okay? That's not where we want to be. Why? It doesn't give us any angles. You don't have angles on the goal at this point. We're just flat across the top, and we're all very far away from the goal. In order to make this offensive set more dangerous and threatening, we need to be lower. We need to be in a position where the defense is starting to feel like they need to be concerned about these guys, okay? So let's talk about the rules of this offense from a middie perspective. We already talked about the idea that if we pass between the triangles, from the middie triangle down to the attack triangle, then it initiates a give and go scenario. For the middies, it's more than a give and go though. It's an actual rotation of their triangle. So what that means is if the ball's up top, okay, and let's take a look at it from this perspective. Let's say this will show both rules. If we carry the ball, if he carries down this direction, there's 2 things that this middie can do, all right? there's only really one thing that this guy, well, there's two things he can do as well. If he comes up this way, okay, then what we're going to end up doing is switching, okay, to maintain our shape. That is one thing we can do. Now, what type of offensive opportunities come off of a switch? Well, to be perfectly honest, not a whole lot right now. There are some things that can happen. Okay, if you watch college ball, you'll see on a switch, when these guys pass, there may be a flip, and he ends up taking the ball and just dodges down and tries to get a shot. There's some different things like that that can happen. There's also, when they pass each other, maybe he wheels out this way and passes back quickly here. Maybe we're trying to mix up our defenders and, mess up their assignments. Those are things that can happen. But at the level we're at, typically what I see happening is when a guy carries down and his next guy switches with him, nothing happens. We don't do anything. All we've done is just switch spaces. All right. I like the fact that when we switch, we maintain our shape. That is good. What I'm not a huge fan of is that we didn't really do anything with the switch other than maintain the shape. The beauty of the rotation, whether it's being done off of a pass to the other triangle or it's being done off of a carry, is that we can always have an opportunity. So again, this guy is going to be playing here. He is hot right. This guy is hot left. Okay, this guy's on the crease, and based on the ball being up top, our attackman should be down low. So maybe he's pulling him down in this direction. What happens here is that if this Middie carries and he starts jogging this way, the rule is rotate the triangle. Rotate it. But not just a rotate to rotate for rotate's sake. If we just rotate across in order to just set the shape and keep the shape, then all we did, again, was keep the shape. My middies, I want you being aggressively minded and thinking about how can I create opportunities to move the defense or move between the defense and create scoring opportunities. So one of the very, very simple ways and looks to look at this is this guy, as he carries, yes, he has to be worried about him, but he's going to be distracted. The ball is coming his direction. If he carries the ball down this way, what I want to see in our rotation is not just a straight cut across. I want to see a cut to the goal, stick up, looking for a quick feed shot. So if that pass does not come, because let's say, for instance, this Middie plays him tight and stays right with him. If that doesn't come, fine, clear through. That Middie's going to stay with you. This Middie's going to stay with you. And now we've carried down. He's come down. Magnet doesn't want to work. There we go. And he's floated up, and this Middie stayed with him. And now we've just changed the shape. We've got hot right, hot left. This guy is still the crease slide. Okay. So that's all fine and good. But again, remember, look at what we did. We took an opportunity to make a look at the goal, because what may happen here is, let's say this guy's not playing a great hot position. Maybe he's playing you tight, and that will happen. All right. Your defenders are going to play you tight coverage. When this man starts to carry down, I want you to aggressively cut and try to have an opportunity. Get your stick up and look for that pass, because as you're clearing through, you're going to have a chance. You're going to have a look at that goal. Catch, turn, shoot. That's it. Not catch, cradle, step, shoot. Nope, you won't have this time. All right, the poles will be on you by that point. But with a cut like this, you will have a look at the goal. All right, so now we go back up. We're back on the wings. And again, we got to stay a little low to create that nice space for that feed. Okay. All right. So now let's go over the other rule. Okay, so we talked about this. The ball, let's say we pass. If we pass the ball within the triangle, nothing happens. Guys don't move. Okay, so you pass up here, you pass down here, that's fine. You're not going to skip pass across, so you're pretty much just moving it around. But moving the ball is still useful. It forces the defense to change their shape and react to where the ball position is. So it's still worth, even if you're just playing up over pass, whether it's here and then, down to here, and then it comes back here and back down to here. I like that. Move the ball. They need to be smart, snappy passes with solid catches. Put that right up into the box, hit the target. But it moves it around and it makes the defense change who's on ball, who's hot left, who's right, et cetera, et cetera. Makes them work a little bit. So now let's talk about going between the triangles. So comes up here, comes down here, and this Middie decides, you know what? This guy's coming on me, and he's coming on, but I think I've got an opportunity here. So when the ball is top left, the crease attackman should be bottom right. Again, creating a couple space. So either this pole is going to go with him and stay on him, or he's going to float in towards the middle. But what he's not going to do is like stay way up here. If he does, fine, go ahead and do that, because this crease attackman is going to have all day to score. So I don't see that happening. He's going to probably be in this position and giving this guy, this dude and this dude, to be concerned about. Okay. But this Middie has decided, I want to go ahead and try a give and go look. So this Middie has come out to defend. This is his left. This is his right. The crease is still your slide from the crease. And what's going to happen is this attackman maybe floats out a little bit to facilitate the pass, okay? That's going to do a couple things. This pole may go out a little bit because he sees his man getting wide open. The pass comes down. Now, what was the rule? If we pass between the Middie and the attack triangles, it is an automatic give and go opportunity. In the Middie triangle, it's a rotation. But it's an aggressive cut to the goal first, looking for that give and go, and then a clear through to force the rotation. So the ball comes down from the Middie triangle. This defender is going to come out and play the ball. This Middie should slough in a little bit, but good chance he'll just kind of stay right here. He'll watch where that ball is going. And when he's doing that, as soon as this is in this guy's stick, what I want to see happen is this attackman kind of float up, because he should be cutting behind the Middie, stick up, and look to hit him on the go. You will have that lane. It will be there. Yesterday, I was playing off this position, and every time that feed was there. Now, I didn't handle it because it's a left-hand feed and a tough left-hand shot for a righty, so it may work better from the other side. But that angle is going to be there. If all it takes is a little float from this attackman. So he starts here, he floats out to facilitate better space for this easy pass. Pass comes down, defenseman approaches, he catches and floats up as he cuts down. That's an easy pass shot goal. Okay. So now what happens if that doesn't, what if it's not there? What if the look isn't there? If the pass can't come for whatever reason? Let's say that this pole doesn't approach very well, or not quickly, right? So the ball's up here, the attackman's down here, ball's up here. Attackman floats out, pass comes, but the pole is late to go. The Middie runs his cut, but the pole gets into that passing lane. So he runs his cut, nothing happens. Where does he go? Clear through, okay? And when he's clearing through, what that now means is you should be moving and you should be floating down, okay? And now we're reset, okay? We just spun everybody. When you do that, these defenders are going to get a little goofed up because they're probably playing man, and you just cleared through an entire triangle. So there's a good chance that you're going to shed some defenders. Okay, but at a minimum, we're going to rotate the shape of the defense. We're going to rotate the offense, maintain our triangle shape. And now the ball's down in the attack triangle. Okay, so attack passes over here. We have our two guys staying down below GLE, and our poles have to make decisions. If we have the ball down low, are they going to play us down low, or are they not going to play us down low? If they're not going to play us down low, then the opportunity exists for a little quarterbacking from an attackman. Take our best feeder, go park them on the crease, and send the other guy up into the box. We just made things a lot harder for this defense. We're creating opportunities down low, up top, over here, over here. We're moving around, making the defense shift around. And in many ways, what will happen is they're going to start fixating on these two attackmen and forget about the backside Middie. And the guy who's playing top center Middie is going to have an opportunity to cut down from up high on the backside of his defender, right? So keep an eye on him to figure out when he's looking one way or the other. Cut behind him, get your stick up right here, and we're going to have an opportunity for a feed to him with a shot down, all right? This is a very, very dangerous situation, and we have a lot of opportunities to score from it. You may end up getting a crease attackman who's there, quick feed, quick dump, shot, boom, boom, boom. Very, very quick. This is all quick back here, but it is predicated on how the defense plays us. Now, if we go back to where we were, shift us back in this situation, if the pole comes out and he's going to play you back behind GLE, that's fine. All right, come out and play me. That's fine. Because now, if you go back to the first video, we talked about some pick plays that we can do back here. We can also just pass over, which means he's got to come back up. He comes down and plays now. And when we've got the ball down low up here, so now maybe the attackman's up on top. We dodge in this direction, draw the slide, dump to the attack, shot, score. The big lesson and the big thing to remember as an offensive player with the ball, sometimes we can get a little short-sighted and only think about me, myself. I'm the guy who has to score. No, you with the ball, you may get to score, but you may be even more dangerous as someone opening up opportunities for somebody else. And our dodging situation here, when we dodge, we should be expecting a slide to come, which results in almost a double team in many ways. What I want to see us stop doing is pressing the double team and instead popping out and looking for where that double team came from. Pop out, feed, goal. Go around the slide. He's not going to get back in time to do anything about it. Okay? So from the lax IQ side of the house, both attack and middies, if we dodge from up top, okay, and we've got our pole, we got our crease slide right here. Okay, if we're over in this position, we decide we want to dodge this dude. He's playing us. And we go in and we're going to dodge down the alley as we're trying to cut in this way for a shot. That way we will probably not get either. We're going to end up drawing that crease slide. That's what we want. If the ball is top right with the midi, or top left with the midi, our crease attackman should be bottom right. So if we've dodged this dude and we come in, the crease slide comes. Rather than trying to dodge again and beat the crease slide with a potentially cluttered shot, look for the crease attackman. He's going to be open, okay, because he's going to be in front of this pole. The pole who's covering this man is not going to come up here. If he does, now you have a skip pass to the backside and a wrap and a dump, okay? It comes down to recognizing where the slide came from and which man he was covering, okay? And a lot of times in this black offense, the slide will come from the crease, leaving the crease man open. So middies, that's what you need to be looking for. So we talked about, again, this is from a midi perspective. Middies, I need the wing middies down low. If you find yourselves up here, this defeats the shape of the offense and it takes away a lot of our options. Get down low. Now, that also goes for attackmen. You guys need to be below GLE. If the attackmen start floating up, the middies start thinking, oh, I'm too close. And so they float back up. And now we almost look like gold, except our X-Man is on the crease. Okay, that's not what we want. The shape of this thing is two guys below GLE until we're running plays. And the wing guy is getting down here. So we have a 1, 3, 2 look. That's the shape. So be mindful of the shape. And take your time. Slow things down a little bit. All right. If we can settle the ball, ensure the shape is good, now we get to think through the rules, okay? So he says, oh, okay, I'm going to carry. He carries. What does this wing midi do? It's not just a clear across. It's not just, oh, I'm just going to go jog across because I'm supposed to rotate. I want guys off ball thinking about how they can be in a position to score, okay? That's one of the mindset things that we got to change. If you don't have the ball, that doesn't mean you can't score. It just means you can't score right that minute. So what are you going to do to make yourself able to score? Well, in order for this guy to score, he needs to get open. He rotates down. He goes with him. He aggressively cuts in, pops up, looks for that feed, and then shot, okay? If it's not there, rotate through, okay? He goes through, he comes across with him, okay? And now we still have our shape. When we carry down, what I really like here is if we carry and we don't hit that give and go on the rotation here, then topside midi, as you come down from top center, I don't want you coming down here and then just like setting up shop, having a picnic and trying to figure out what you do next. I want you to already be thinking about what you're going to do next. And what a great play for the middies coming off a carry down to the wing is to say, okay, I'm going to carry the ball down, okay, which makes this guy the new hot right. He's on ball. He's hot left. Crease guy's here. He is floated over here because the ball is top right now. So crease attackman floats low, bottom left. He has to play him kind of right here. As I carry the ball down to this position, I'm already thinking, you know what I want to do? I want to do a give and go. This attackman pops out. pass. This guy looks, he goes to ball, cut behind, float up, hit him on the run, score. That is as basic as it gets. And your opportunities are going to be there, but you need to be thinking ahead of time, right? We run all these drills to get the fundamental movements, the passing, the catching, the shooting, all of that stuff down. But if you think about Hopkins up and over is a passing drill to a dodge that says, I'm going to rotate the ball around the defense, which makes the defense change shape and reorganize where they are. And we know that when we get to this position, I'm dodging for a shot. That's an automatic play. That just says, I'm going to start it back at X, rotate it all the way around. Defense has to spin. I'm dodging and I'm shooting. Okay, that's a play in and of itself. But the plays that are even more dangerous, excuse me, are the ones that, let's say we had the ball down here. We pass it all the way around. We spin it, we spin it, we spin it, we spin it, we spin it up top. I'm going to carry. I carry down. He goes with me. He's defending me. He aggressively cuts in. If we've manipulated the defense and they're kind of spun, there may be an opportunity. Feed, shot, score. If there's not, cut through, feed through. Carry down. This guy goes over here. This guy rotates up to here. Carry down, hit to this position, look down, pass down, cut. Float, pass, go. If we have that kind of mindset that says, when I hit my bottom Middie position, either left or right side, I'm going to pass to the attack triangle. And because the rules of this offense say that when I pass between triangles, I run a go, that's what I'm going to do. So what I would love to see is our top center Middie thinking about a play in his head right now, saying, I have two opportunities here. I'm not dodging to score on this one. This is not a dodge. I'm going to manipulate the defense by movement. I'm going to carry down. Defense comes with. He cuts in. He has to go. He cuts in. Is it there? No, I don't like it. Continue to carry. He clears through. He goes through. He goes through. Hits here. And without thinking about it, because he's still chasing him, he's now seeing the ball come. He gets a little more concerned. Ball passes down. Defender comes out. Cut behind. Feed. Shot. So that's a two-step play, right? Had the ball up here. No intention to dodge. Looking for the first give and go right here to your Middie coming off the wing. If that's not here, continue your carry to the point. And now you're the give and go. Pass down. Go. Catch. Shot. So Middies, you can be very, very dangerous in this offense because you have a lot of different options for how you can both move the defense and how your other players are going to move based on the rules of the offense, the rotations and the give and goes. So we will continue to work all of these things in practice, but I want you watching both these videos to understand the rules of this offense. If we play this offense by the rules, then we will create opportunities every time we move the ball. If we forget the rules and we just stand still, then the offense starts to break down. If we don't know where we're supposed to move, then the offense doesn't really work. It's kind of similar to team defense. In order to be supportive team defense, you have to know the rules of the slides and the reloads. Well, same thing goes here. For this offense to work, you need to know the rules of the motion. In a Middie triangle, if the ball is carried, we rotate the triangle, but not just a rotation. Look, cut in and try to see if you can get a give and go and then clear out, okay? That's what we're talking about. It's not just a clear through. And if the ball is passed between the two triangles, again, we rotate the triangle, okay? If the ball is passed within the triangle, it does not necessitate movement of players. The ball simply moves. Ball moves faster than players, and it still forces the defense to react. So sometimes just passing up and over the horn makes a lot of sense. Just play catch. Make them reorganize based on where the ball is. That is much better than simply holding the ball and not making them think. We want the defense having to react. So the way we do that is either moving our bodies or moving the ball. But lots to practice. You guys will get this. I'm looking forward to training it. We got a couple weeks to really kind of get it settled in. And I look forward to our next practice on Friday. Speed, honor north. We'll see you then.